Apollo 11 Houston, we recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
Hi! Due to a glitch in the Matrix and the world coming to a standstill, everybody is freaking out and thinking, what if? Here on the Depths of Jigoku Podcast, we are prepared for this video game level. On today's timey-wimey podcast episode, we are joined by the Constructor of Confusion Kain.
Hello.
The Inventive Instigator KickenBeans.
Hola!
The Matrix Mechanic Himself Scorch. And the narrator that only the protagonist can hear, Bipoe. That's me.
Oh, what a good day.
Yeah.
So how was everybody's week?
Meh.
What
About the general consensus, meh.
was
All right.
was anybody actually affected by that outage?
Yo.
By this one, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I can run into it a little bit. Just a little bit. So the outage, when it occurred, it actually dropped the central US Microsoft server, which is primarily the server that I use for work. So when that happened, all of our stuff started breaking. Everything went down. I largely tried to ignore all of the communications until the servers actually came back up for us, but yeah, there was a lot going on with that. It wasn't specifically CrowdStrike, but I think it was related. Like, I think CrowdStrike hit that central server first, and before it propagated out, they isolated it. So, yeah, that was fun.
Nice. I went to work and my computer worked, but our servers were down. So I got zero access to my file share,
Dang.
but could still respond to emails, which was a lot of, I don't have access to my file share. I can't look at your contract and know if you're lying to me or not.
Yeah, I didn't get hit too bad at work, so that's nice. But there were still, like, not me directly, but other family members and whatnot I had to, like, calm down and help with.
After the last 2 weeks of CDK Global being down, I am so happy that this didn't affect us.
Dude, I bet 2 outages in 1 month would suck.
Dude, we're still trying to recoup from all the BS with accounting and finances and all that bullshit, so I can only imagine the spiral that all these other companies are going to be going through for the next month.
I had to go back to that dealership twice to pay for my truck.
Did you really?
Yeah. I told him on the third time, I was like, it's free on the third time, man. It's like, you've
I'm
already,
sure they took that well.
yeah, you've already registered it, or I've already registered it in my name. Like, all the paperwork's through. It's mine.
No takesy backsies.
Yeah. It's like, I've already dented the fucking thing.
No.
What? How?
What'd you do?
So it has the rock slider, but the rock slider has steps that come down, right?
Yeah.
So we went and did a little bit of trail riding. I found a really cool place for us to go camping right next to a stream out in the middle of nowhere in a valley, so we could be as loud as we fucking want. But the only way to get down there, I was good with 2-wheel drive. Up, I had to go into 4-low. So it's probably like everyone drives out there and then me and Scorch ferry everybody's stuff into the spot. Which isn't that big deal. We're talking like 200 feet. But coming back up, I slid into a rut and it bent the little step a little bit. But I just kind of wanted rock sliders, not steps, and I was already looking at them. So now that it's bent, I'm just going to cut the fucking steps off and hit it with some like wrinkle black and call it a day. Because,
buddy,
well, I climbed under there to see if I could bend it back, which I didn't try because it's not that far out of whack. You'd have to know that it's bent to see that it's bent. But I was up there looking under there, and it is a true rock slider. It's not just steps. So I'm good with it.
I think it's bolted in well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bolt every like 6 inches through the frame, and then it scoops under.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
I'm just like, all right, well, rock sliders are sacrificial in my opinion, so I'm just gonna keep going till this one's so beat up that I'm gonna order new ones. But yeah, what were you going with, Scorch, before we were rudely interrupted?
I forget. I was going to say, you tell them that you made your payment, even though they say you didn't, because now that you technically have everything in the paperwork, they've all submitted it all. You go back in the third time, you're like, no, this is mine. I own it.
It's been a week and a half now, so I think I'm good. Or I think they're good, and in my opinion, I don't really care, but they haven't contacted me again. And the poor finance guy, the first time I went in, he's like, no, the system's not back up, but my boss is telling us to do everything by hand. So he had
Yikes.
to hardcore, like, hard copy print everything and then hand fill it all in. And we filled all that out, and then a couple days later, the systems came back up, and he was like, hey, man, this paperwork's going to take me like 3 days to get put in because we did it all by hand. Can you come back in? I was like, yeah, sure. And then they fucked up the Navy Federal check because they do refinancing vehicles weird. So then we were gone maybe an hour, and he called me back, and I was like, I'm going to count this as an addition to the second one. I'm not going to count this as 3.
Wild.
Yeah. But they were all really nice, and they detailed the truck every time I was there and gave me a little booklet of free oil changes for my troubles and all that stuff.
Well, at least you
Heck
got
yeah.
something.
So I'm not super worried about it. Yeah. And then other than that, just been pandaing out the truck. So changed all the badges except for the Z71 badge to black because white on
Nice.
red looks disgusting. And I can't find a black Z71 badge for that grill. I think I might just end up buying a black grill. And then played with the airbags in the back a little bit to see what I could tow in a work trailer, and that's really all about it. There's some transmission mods I want to do just to make sure that transmission lasts, because come to find out, it was replaced like 20,000 miles ago. So
Oh, I wonder what that was.
Ruh-roh.
the 6L80s and 6L90s, the Chevy in their infinite wisdom decided to put a thermostat in their transmission coolers that opens at 195, which is ridiculously high for a transmission with a transmission cooler. So
Jesus.
it eventually like gets into the 230 to 40 range on temperature, and it melts the torque converter, and then the torque converter explodes, sending shrapnel all through your transmission and eats your transmission. Without that thermostat housing, these transmissions are bulletproof. With that thermostat housing, they're just too fucking hot. So PPD, I think it is, makes a straight through, and that I'm thinking about getting, and then Chevy makes a thermostat replacement that opens at 145 degrees, you know, the correct fucking temperature. So I'm between either ordering the GM part or just saying fuck it and doing the straight through, because the straight through, everything I'm reading on the Great and Powerful Reddit says that it keeps it around, like if you're towing, people are seeing 160 degrees, which is well within operating temperature. So I think I'm
Yeah.
just going to go with the straight through and then eventually upgrade the cooler on the front to like a Mishimoto or something like that, because Mishimoto makes a direct drop in.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I've been doing everything I possibly can not to buy Vortex supercharger kit that puts that truck at 500 horsepower.
Attaboy.
It is so hard because I'm like, racing sim, supercharger.
Supercharger.
I'm justifying not doing it because it's not a race car for me. Like, it has plenty of power and torque for what I'm going to do with it. And, like, it's the same reason I haven't gone out and bought 35-inch wheels. It's got 33s. That's good enough for what I want to do. If I want to go hardcore off-roading, I'll take the Tundra.
I say that because I also already have like a pseudo racing sim. So I'm like, oh, I already have the thing. So
Yeah, but you got like the entry-level racing sim. I'm gonna buy that cool drift racing sim that Scorch shared us the other day because I priced it out. It's like $1,000 cheaper just to buy that thing than it is to buy the individual parts, and it comes with everything. You just need a computer and some screens. It comes with everything else.
Yeah,
that
like
racing sim was badass.
Yeah, what is it like? It was like what 3,800?
It was like 24.
Really?
Yeah, when I clicked on it, it was like 24. Something just
Maybe
fell
it was
behind
on
me.
sale.
And then Formula Drift gives you a coupon code for 10% off, which at $2,400 is $240.
Yeah.
yeah, you take what you could get.
That's a decent amount of change, man.
Yeah.
And it comes with like the GT steering wheel because that comes with the force feedback steering wheel kit, but it also comes with a standard like drift steering wheel. It comes with the e-brake, which alone is like $300. It comes with the frame. It comes with the seat. It comes with 3-pedal system, which usually you end up buying a 2-pedal system and then buying a 3rd pedal and modifying it in. This is already built in. It comes with the restrictive damper things to make it feel more realistic, and you could tune them to whatever car you're practicing for. Like, I dove deep into that thing. It's it's actually a really good deal.
Yeah, I just kind of gave it a quick look over as far as like what the kit came with, and I was like, yeah, this looks like what he probably wants.
Dude, I priced it out on Micro Center and it was almost $4,000.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I'm talking
Yeah,
piece for piece.
Those things add up quick.
Yeah, same parts. Because it's a Moza 3 with all the
Oh,
upgrades.
So yeah, it looks like you're better getting it from the vendor instead of from Micro Center, sadly.
I can order it through Micro Center and just go pick it up. Like, they'll piece it all together and then call me when all the special Formula Drift stuff shows up.
Well, I mean, what about the site that I sent you though? Like, can't you get it directly from them?
I can get it directly from them, but I think shipping's going to kill me. Like, it's probably a couple $100 in shipping. That 10% probably cuts the shipping costs off.
Honestly, you
Probably.
might be able to save some money and ship it to a business. You can ship it to my job.
Yeah, if I'm going to do that, I could ship it to my job, but then I got to take it home, and then all my coworkers are going to want to play with it, and that's no bueno.
Just leave it in the box.
They'll
Don't tell me
know.
what it is.
They'll know.
As
No.
per unmarked packaging.
That's when you say, oh, only the employee of the month can come over and do it, and you just make yourself the employee of the month for the rest of the time you're there.
That's
Every
rude.
month.
That's fair. My boss quit, and my replacement boss took a month off. So really, there's only like 2 people above me. I think I can get away with this. I'll just set it up at work. We got a 70-inch, 120 hertz, 4K display
There you go.
for meetings.
Yes,
Oh yeah, definitely for
meetings.
meetings.
My $300 Dell work laptop barely runs that thing. It lags when I plug it in.
Nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to get, as far as work stuff goes, I'm trying to get on the committee. We're hiring designers for our South location, which is the location I'm in, and designers need gaming computers.
Of course they do.
So yeah, they were looking at pre-builts, and I was like, we could save a bunch of money if you just let me go ape shit with the credit card at Micro Center. And they're like, what, really? Like, yes. Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can hire some friends to do the build.
Right?
They'll set it
With
up.
our
they'll get
powers
everything-
combined, we can get everything done in one day.
Yeah, we're trying to get 5 designers. So that's 5 high-end gaming computers.
Yeah, you go
And-
6th for you or just for backup.
Right? I was like, I'll do this for the price of a 4090. You know, we'll see how much money I save, and then I'll use that to buy us all new graphics cards. Because they were looking at like $8,000 towers a piece, and I was like, no.
No.
We can do this for what, $1,000 a piece, probably, for what they need. I mean, minus the graphics card.
The first designer gets to choose the specs, whoever the first designer we hire is, and then we're just going to copy that 4 more times.
Nice.
Well, hopefully you get somebody that picks the good stuff.
I'm interviewing him, so
Tell
better.
me, what do you get when you cross? No.
Yeah,
Are you Intel or AMD? First
Go
question.
AMD at this point.
no, that's the second question at the interview.
Oh, nice.
But yeah,
yeah. As far as the builds go AMD at this point. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Intel's messing up.
Well, not only that, AMD's always been the better option for 3D modeling. So
I mean that makes sense. Like the more of their core processing goes to tasks like that, which makes
Yeah.
sense. But on top of that, Intel's been having issues with their voltage. So just so you know, you might need to go to the BIOS and lower the voltage, and that might help prevent you from having a bunch of game crashes and stuff.
I've been keeping an eye on it because I saw that article come out, and mine's been running good so far. It's been running steady.
Mm-hmm.
what generation do you have? Because I thought it was restricted to 13 and 14.
I have a 13. I have a 13.7.
Oh,
Yeah, he's in the 13th gen.
well, good luck. I have a spare 10400 KF or whatever laying around if you need it. I'm thinking about turning it into a keychain.
Be one dope keychain.
It would be, and it doesn't have pins, so I'm about it. But all right, first topic.
The what ifs.
17 minutes in, first topic.
Yeah, what
That's
if?
fine.
What if the internet was turned off for a week?
Hopefully you got cash, otherwise it's going to be a chaotic society.
Yeah.
Everybody's
No.
going to be fucking raiding, everybody's going to be stealing and bartering, and everybody's going to be selling their pretty little buttholes.
So I'm thinking just internet for us, not internet wide. Just like you can't use data on your phone, you can't go home and check the internet, like no Google Maps, but
Like, I go to the
economically
ATM
everything
and get a
functions.
cash.
Yeah,
Oh.
economically everything functions.
Well, that's
Sorry, everything's-
a doomsday scenario.
So
Everything.
it's just after
We're
a
back in the
hurricane hits
90s.
Florida. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So it's after a hurricane hits Florida and your power gets knocked out. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're back in the 90s at that point where everything's still a paper cash system.
Really kind of.
So our internet's out. What would I do? Well, I mean, I guess literally after just spending a week at Apo where we didn't have really any service or signal out there, probably get back more into like reading or interacting or doing art or practicing things that I mean to practice, right? Like,
I've got an answer for you.
yeah.
Two things. To your point, I'm going to get back into practicing my music.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, all you motherfuckers are coming over and we're playing a week-long game of Risk.
Oh,
dude, I have Axis and Allies zombies. We need to get on that.
you could have said I was down for Catan because I have
Fuck Catan.
I have base Catan in every single expansion.
Good for you.
So we could do Catan, but Risk for a week.
You're
Yeah,
not
it's-
doing that in
it's-
a night. And also, we're too competitive.
It's whoever gets Australia and like kind of like Southeast Asia just kind of wins because you just turtle there and then just explode out.
Hey, I did it in real life. I'll fight from South America. I ain't afraid.
Yeah.
I'll cross them borders.
He'll just wait till you're not looking and hop that fence.
He gets it.
I don't know what I would do, honestly. Like, I know I can survive without the internet because I have done it, but I don't know. It'd be weird since I'm so...
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, literally think about it right now. If you didn't have the internet on a daily basis to use,
well, I wouldn't be able. Like, if this could happen like in a few weeks' time when I'm near more people like y'all, then I'd be like, yeah, it's fine to chill. But I'm isolated by myself. I guess I would just do what I normally do and just lay in my bed and do nothing. Like, I honest to God, I'd be like, oh, I can't use my phone. I gotta sleep for a week, catch up on that. My job really doesn't require internet connection besides like writing notes, so I guess I still have to do that.
So for me, it would definitely. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it would definitely impact my work, right? Because I'm a remote work developer, and not having internet might be kind of a blessing or a curse, right? Like if business continues as usual, but my internet is gone. It would basically mean that I can't do my job from home. So I'd have to go find a place that I could do my job, or just not do my job.
The option B is sounding good.
I mean,
would you still get paid?
I like it. Would I still get paid? Doubt.
Yeah, like let's say like, oh, the internet's out. I literally can't do my job. I still need money, though.
I mean, that's happened before, right? We've all had Xfinity. Not to bomb on them.
Not for long.
I still got like a year.
Really?
Yeah, I called.
Yeah, they knocked on my door like 3 days ago and were like, hey, we're going to turn the switch on Friday. I'm like, cool. I've been signed up since last July. Give.
Yeah.
Wait, you've been signed up for Xfinity since last July?
No, for fiber.
Oh.
I might move the Plex server over to your house then.
Yeah, bring it on.
That way we get better uploads. But yeah, I don't know. I want to say I would do something fruitful and useful with my time.
But I sleep and just eat and drink.
I feel like I would just be like, all right, we're going to mega thread a D&D campaign and just a week long, call it an ordered pizza, getting fat.
Wait, you can't. Wait, are you able to like call landline in for pizza with this internet off?
Yeah, I was gonna say internet's down there.
Yes.
Our phone service is down too.
No, like that's the thing.
Oh, guys, the world isn't that broken. Their landline still exists.
No, dude, I'm just saying, like, how
do you have a landline?
Yeah, how realistic? How strict are we being with this?
We call it 2003, and we go find a Rena's, and we go get some pizza. That could be our vitamin D for the day.
Or we stop being sweaty people and we go touch grass for like an hour as we go pick up pizza.
What?
Yeah.
No.
We can move the dining room table outside, play outside for like 20 minutes until we get hot.
No.
Look, all I know, guys, is I gotta be home before the street light, just after the street lights come on. Okay, like that's
right.
Listen. My mom says I can't be out past 6, so yeah.
It's still sunny out at 6.
It's sunny until 8:30 right now.
Listen, what can I say? I'm not allowed to be outside when I play D&D. I gotta be inside. If I'm gonna play D&D, I'm gonna be a basement gremlin and just be there, like no sunlight, no nothing.
That is fair.
I'm already a basement troll. I need to touch more grass.
You can put grass in the little escape window behind you.
Oh, I can.
Just open it up, touch it real quick, close it.
Reach out.
No.
Touch.
What you do is you grab a little piece of like grass and sod and put it in a planter and keep it inside, so you just touch grass inside. Never reach anything out.
No, come on.
Teaches you to water and take care of something. And you get to touch grass while you're in the safety of the inside, away from the very scary sun that likes to burn people.
Nice.
They make sunscreen.
What? No way.
I stand by my statement. No touch grass.
You kids, use some fucking sunscreen.
I do use sunscreen.
Hey, don't yell at me.
If the internet is out to a point to where I have to literally walk down the street to the Pizza Hut, I'm not going outside. I'm be like, I'm surviving on whatever's in here.
That's gonna be a short week.
Yeah. I think I got enough food to be fine.
Listen, if I could survive the week after Wilma in South Florida, if anybody remembers early 2000s Wilma destroying South Florida, I can survive a week without internet and stuff like that.
Motherfucker, I was down in Miami for Hurricane Andrew.
I was getting ready to say I don't think he was alive for Andrew.
The house that I'm currently living in was like 3 cinder blocks, I think, with Andrew.
Oh, fuck.
Or was it Matthew? We gotta look it up.
Andrew was 96.
No, Andrew was 93.
93.
Yep.
Yeah,
92. So it was
okay.
The house I'm living in is cinder blocks. That was 5. That I was not born yet.
Oh,
but
I have a photo of me standing on the foundation of what was my grandfather's house after Hurricane Andrew.
Nice.
Damn.
Wild.
Yeah. Now Wilma tore there's like an office extension, like a home office extension. It opened that up like a tuna can. So I remember spending a week literally finding family photos in like down the street neighbor's yard. I'm like, oh, nice.
Do you guys remember photos?
Do you remember having to go to like a CVS or Walgreens or whatever to like paying someone to make photos for you?
Dude, here's something funny. So my partner and I, we went to a show. We went to go see Odessa, right? And we get the VIP package. It's my partner's favorite band, so we made the expense. Part of the gift package that we get for the VIP purchase is we literally get old disposable cameras to take photos on. And I was like, cool, this is going to be really fun. And so like we took quite a few photos. And by the way, when you pull it out of the plastic casing that it's in, the plastic does not smell safe.
No, it's probably a 20-year-old disposable camera.
But so we got done taking all the photos and everything, and the show ends, and the next morning we're going through all of our stuff, and we're like, my partner for a brief moment was just like, where the fuck do we do this now? Like, where do we get these made?
A CVS or a Walgreens, they still do it.
Well, I get that, but it's literally something that we haven't thought about in fucking 15 years now.
Yeah. Do you know what? Okay, I don't want to. You know, I was going to say.
Aside from this, the last time I used a disposable camera was like I think early high school.
I used it when I was a little bit in high school and middle school, but I love the fact that like Polaroids are coming back. Because I never got to experience Polaroids when they were like an actual thing.
Why do you have to say it like that? God damn it.
I didn't know how else to put it.
I have a Polaroid.
Hey, let's go. What is that?
So
is that...
I have my old deployment Camelback that I bring to Burns with me. And one of the girls we were camped with, her fling, friends with benefits, whatever, not boyfriend, saw my Camelback and then started having like Iraq flashbacks, not the bad ones, the good ones, and then got real weird and was like, can I touch your bag? And I was like, mind you, I've spoken 4 words to this guy at this point, and I'm like, yeah. And then he started telling me, he's like, I had one of those when I was deployed, and I was like, oh, that's where I got this one. And then we just started talking shop for a little bit. It ended up becoming pretty chill. I wouldn't call us friends because I have no idea what his real name is, but we became pretty good burn buddies. That's perfect. And then somebody took a Polaroid of us, like basically cuddling, holding my bag, discussing, covered in stuffed animals.
Nice.
Giggity.
And then I immediately forgot photos were a thing and washed it. with my clothes from the burn. So it's a little tore up.
But yeah, why are Polaroids so fucking expensive? Like the new Polaroid cameras, they're like so expensive now because they're like, oh, it's this new tech.
Because
I'm like,
because it's not really new tech, but it's old tech that's still being produced. So supply is low, demand's not high, but higher.
And Polaroids
And-
were kind of expensive back in the day. Like-
yeah, they always were, and now
Yeah.
things are just more expensive in general.
Yeah, like
So-
if you had a Polaroid back in the day, you were baller.
I just remember disposable cameras. I took that when I went overseas and when I went up to like camp in the mountains and stuff.
So, do you guys remember there was like a little photo printer you could buy for your Game Boy?
Yeah, I had one.
I
Do I need to
found.
answer this question?
No, you don't. We know the answer. I found a whole grip of photos from back in the day of like ex-girlfriends, and I was just like, oh, well, these need to be burned. All of these people suck.
No one could
Nice.
see my face, but I
that's
definitely
too
like.
funny.
I definitely was like the oh no face when you said ex-girlfriends. I'm like,
Dude, the top
Damn.
photo was like, I don't think I could dox her. I don't even know if she's still alive. Was just like being Polly. So, I know KickenBeans remembers her a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just real weird. So of course I threw them all away because none of those people really matter, and I don't need photos.
I remember having a flashlight attachment for my Game Boy.
Oh, so you could see the screen, or like
Yeah,
a
at
torch,
night.
so you
Yeah.
could see around the bedroom.
No, it was like attached to
Okay.
it, so that way you could like at night or like, I guess when you have the lights off in your bedroom, you're trying to make sure your parents can't tell that you're actually not asleep and you're playing games. You
So
throw
I
that
had
shit
that.
under your pillow real quick, and then it
I had
brightens
that
back.
light attachment for my Game Boy, but I always used it when we went on road trips because my dad was a semi truck driver. So like we would go on fucking 6-8 hour stints on a drive. So I would just be sitting in the back of the car with my Game Boy, and I'd have that little light attachment on, so I could just play through the night.
Fucking how
Yeah, I
many
used it
double A's
when-
did you burn through?
A lot. But also, you could get double A's for 99 cents at Big Lots, so like it wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before Big Lots looked like a Somali pirate town.
Yeah, no, that's when Big Lots was a really nice discount store to go to.
Yeah. Now when you walk in
Oh.
there, you're like, it's the third world.
Oh man, I don't know. That reminds me. So like, as I kind of mentioned last podcast, I am moving like homes, and I was digging through all my old junk because I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw out things that I can't donate, but I don't want to keep. I'm going to keep things I want to keep and donate other things that I don't want to keep, but are like, I'd feel bad throwing out. Y'all are gonna hate this. I just realized I found my old Nintendo 3DS, like mint, like perfect condition.
Bro, don't tell
missing
me you
the
threw that
charger.
shit out.
No, I kept it. It's just I
Uh-oh.
said it's my old 3DS, so I thought you guys were like, shut the fuck up, you baby.
No, I had 3 different 3DSs. I found the key to them not getting stolen out of my old F-150. You buy the pink one. No one steals a pink Nintendo 3DS.
I'd steal a pink Nintendo 3DS, but
Yeah, but you're not the average demographic.
Yeah, you're
that
not
is fair.
checking people's car doors to see if they lock.
Oh, fair. I know. I just got to make sure I either packed it or it's safely put away somewhere. Yes.
Dude, that
Alright.
F-150, I had 2 3DSs stolen out of it. I had a PSP stolen out of it, and then somebody left their PSP in there like 2 years later. And I could never figure out
Somebody
whose it
just
was.
returned it.
Yeah, it wasn't
It was yours.
mine.
Somebody just returned it.
Yeah, it had a weird login. I think it was a girl's. Yeah, it was like cats and shit. But yeah, so that went well. And then what else got stolen out of that truck? I had a whole PlayStation 1 get stolen out of that truck. And a single head for a 305 Ford motor. Both heads were in the truck. They stole just one of the heads.
Oh, that means that whoever took it really didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Or they just needed a head. A single one.
Well, sometimes people are just looking for some head.
You're not wrong.
Heyo.
You're welcome. I'm here all night. Thank you.
All right. Next question at hand. A couple podcasts ago, we asked the question if drugs were vegan. Well, we've had a little bit of time to stew on this. What do you guys think?
No. Can some drugs be vegan? Sure. Are majority of the drugs vegan? No.
What drugs aren't vegan?
What animal
Oh.
products are used in the making of drugs?
The inside of horns. The same thing that's used for gelatin.
Okay, what drugs use gelatin?
A lot.
A lot of them as binding agents or pressed pills. Almost all of them.
Most
yeah.
drugs, you need a fat as a binding agent. This is not a disclaimer on how to make drugs, but
No,
most drugs need a
we're not
fat
telling
as a
you-
binding agent.
We are not telling you the recipes or anything of how to make drugs. This is just, are they vegan?
I knew a dude
Is
back in the
cocaine
day that
vegan? Like pure cocaine that isn't cut, like comes from the coca leaf, dry powderize it. Like, is there anything in it?
I think other than marijuana, that's probably the most vegan drug.
Yeah. And then you have synthetic cocaine, which isn't real. That's just, yeah.
Well, synthetic.
Yeah. So yeah, only how many? Okay, how many are there then? There's 2 that we know that are vegan. Besides,
Oh, there's hundreds of different drugs you could take. You should hit up a website called Arrowhead and just spend days.
no, I'm good. I work in this realm. I just never got asked this question, which I'm actually very surprised I haven't. I've been asked a lot of
Welcome.
others.
I guess who cares? Right? Do the
Yeah.
vegans care?
I mean, I met a dude once that can make meth with a 2-liter bottle.
No, that's to me that's an interesting perspective. If somebody says that they're vegan and they're a hardcore vegan, more power to them. But let's say they get put on medication. Are they actually going through the ingredients of that pressed pill to decide if they want to take it or not because it may or may not have an animal byproduct in it?
You are not wrong for asking that question.
To be fair, most vegans I know wouldn't take any prescribed drugs. They're usually whimsical like that. They're like,
mean-
oh, Kratom can fix my mental health issues.
Oh,
Yeah, and give you an addiction at the
no.
same time.
Yeah. But so most vegans I know are pretty steady potheads. I wonder if they
yeah.
know that the binding agent in edibles is a meat product or an animal product.
Probably not.
Can
Yeah,
you
I'm-
use a plant-based binding agent? That sounds weird, but like.
I mean, you could probably do some sort of dehydrated sunflower oil or some shit like that, but I
was
don't
thinking,
know how
like
much.
coconut fat or something.
I guess you would just need some kind of cellulose. I don't know. My chemist brain is. There's other things you could use, but it would suck, and it would taste fucking terrible. That's the good thing about turning horses into glue is it gets rid of the taste.
What?
That's where that's where glue used to come from.
No, I know, but
I think you
When
broke.
you
I think you
when
broke
you
Poe a little bit.
when you say it, were you a glue eater and you're like, oh, it doesn't taste like horse? This is really weird. Or was it like, what do you mean by it tastes the way it tastes?
I'm expecting horses. I am disappointed.
Right? Taco Bell's tasty.
Oh no.
I mean, they used
No,
to serve
ew.
horse meat. They got in a lot of trouble for it.
To be
What I
fair,
do-
a lot of countries serve horse meat.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Thailand or Korea and
Yeah.
you think you're buying cow, you're probably buying horse. They label dogs separately, so you're pretty safe there, but
Nowadays, yeah. I'm not getting off this topic. What did you mean that it gets rid of the taste when they're made into glue? eat glue and expect horses, or like?
Oh, so when they pull the cellulose out specifically of horses, you lose the scent and you lose a lot of the taste. It is, other than whale oil, it's much more naturally occurring tasteless, scentless version of oil.
Okay.
So it's still used in a lot of pharmaceutical applications and engineering applications because horse glue bonds pretty good as compared to synthetic stuff we have now.
Okay. I thought you meant you used to eat glue and you thought it would taste like a horse. Okay.
No,
this is a legit answer. I respect it.
yeah, I wrote a whole paper on it when I was in higher education, and it was not taken well.
Was it a science paper? Did you have to sample?
Was it in English?
It was a philosophy paper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they don't like science.
My entire
hard stuff.
stint into philosophy courses was me being the guy that everyone argued with. Even my professor was like, "You just like to debate." And I was like, "Yeah, no one else wanted to debate them. They're all like one living organism all working together. I might as well throw a wrench into it."
I remember my philosophy class. This one person just kept getting very upset whenever we would mention like income brackets. I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense for you." And that's it.
Yeah, that was a big sticking point in mine as well. Income brackets and what did they used to call DEI?
Don't know.
Yeah, there was a different term for it back then,
Yeah.
but
I should have just taken epistemology, where literally all the professor said was why. I knew the professor. And I loved him because he was my logic professor, and he's like, "Yeah, that's the one class I just turn my brain off and just keep writing the word why." I'm like, okay.
that's fair. I mean, it always boils down to humans suck. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the trick. They don't tell you that.
People as a whole just suck.
We should just become cyborgs. I'm already part one, so it works.
I had a coworker get legitimately mad at me when I explained to them that we're just primates that figured out how to build shit.
But what? Yeah, opposable thumbs. We learned language.
This
and
makes a difference.
we learned to like control our emotions to an extent, and then build stuff. Yeah.
Say these aren't just for bowling.
Dude, I had a
Are you
bruise
sure?
from the last time we went bowling. But yeah. So, fun fact, most drugs aren't vegan. I didn't even think about the bonding agent.
Welcome.
Okay, but if you're doing if you're doing a lot of drugs, are you really caring about this point?
I mean, you
Some people
might
will.
still, right?
Yeah, I would say that we'll take heroin, for example. There's a lot of upper class musicians that still take heroin. And a lot of those
Yeah.
upper class musicians are still hardcore in the I'm going to save the planet by not eating cow.
Is this actual heroin, or is this no one can see my hands, but heroin that's actually fentanyl?
I mean, if you're Lady Gaga, I would hope you could afford a test kit.
Facts. But
Or
no,
a
that's
legitimate supplier.
Yeah. Well, that's an actual question I do ask in my day-to-day job. I'm like, when you say heroin, do you mean like real stuff, or do you like say it's that, but it's actually like fentanyl?
Actually,
So that's why I had to ask.
Test kits are so accessible nowadays. Kids, whoever is out there listening, if you participate in any substance,
Or
get a
think
fucking
about
test kit.
participating.
They're
Actually-
super accessible, and it's well worth it.
Poe, reach out to Dance Safe and see if they'll sponsor the show.
What's the name?
We'll essentially do it for free. We just want their permission to sponsor the show.
Is it Dance DANCE safe?
It's Dance Safe, one word. You and I, Poe, let's get together after this because one of my personal friends is the CEO of that company.
Oh, perfect. And that also hits a point that I'm definitely down for this, because I recently lost a good friend to an overdose because he thought it was one thing, but it was actually another.
Yeah.
Catch your drugs,
Unfortunately,
kids.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Unfortunately, I'm with you on that. I've got a couple friends that are no longer with us because of that same
Yeah.
scenario.
It's sad to say that this isn't the first, and hopefully it's the last. But yeah, test your drugs, or if you find yourself slipping and it's hard to find yourself slipping before you've already slipped, go get help. No matter
Also,
the cost.
if you're using drugs to get to a better place in your life, you're using drugs for the wrong reasons. You got to be in a happy place to use drugs.
Yeah. Most people don't, which is the sad part.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people use them to escape one way or another, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's an escape of pain.
Even some well-adjusted people need to cut loose every once in a while and could still get the wrong shit.
Yeah. I remember using a kit, and it did save me and a buddy's life.
I mean,
I wasn't going to tell a whole ass story, but yeah.
I couldn't see myself like getting in a fight with my significant other and then being like, now's the time to do drugs. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. No, you're in a healthier, stable headspace. A lot of people are like, after that fight, I'm super angry, I'm super anxious, I'm super sad, and I need an upper or a downer to calm me down or get me up. And then you fucking have,
Our sense of escapism is very different, and I would almost argue for us nowadays compared to how we were when we were younger is a lot healthier as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like that month-long party we had for St. Patrick's Day, right?
Less than 10 hours. It just felt like a month.
Was this pre-me or post-me?
Oh, I'm not going to call you a preemie.
Is it pre-po or is it post-po? Is that the better way to put it?
Pre-po.
Pre-po.
Aw, sad. Okay.
Yeah,
You could have said pre-you, but I guess.
That's what I was just coming into town for the sole purpose of partying and then leaving town.
That's why you were still deployed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I was getting ready to. I was headed to a new duty station and slated for deployment like 2 months later.
That's right, Poe. He said duty.
I'm glad everybody caught that laugh. Boy.
So in gaming news, we were on Game Boy and we missed it. Some asshole designed Halo for Game Boy Color.
What do you mean asshole? I thought that'd be like
Just about to
something
say
you
the
would
same thing.
love.
Because
It's like he's an asshole because I want to.
now I gotta figure out either I gotta buy a Game Boy Color and buy this, or I gotta figure out how to emulate it. Because I want to play Combat Evolved on Game Boy Color. It looked good. Like it looked decent.
Now, did he have to mess with any of like the hardware in the Game Boy Color?
Oh, it looks like a completely reprogram. Like he just used the script and then made a top-down version of the game. It looks like if Halo and Zelda were kind of the similar games. Like it's a Zelda theme, or a Zelda top-down view, but Halo.
Okay. I'm still looking around for my 3DS, by the way.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You
so
should definitely hold on to that because that's the hardest thing to emulate.
Yeah. So it's just Halo Combat Evolved?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Yeah, the article I read, it's the entire game. Top-down view. Kind of looked like Enter the Gungeon almost, but Halo color tones.
Okay.
So speaking of other fun games, I think I sent you guys this link before, but somebody modded a Nintendo Wii.
I saw that.
Or at least it can be modded. I think you can get like a mod kit for it.
Yeah, there's a specific vendor that sells the mod kit.
Yeah, where essentially it becomes like a complete game station for like all the Wii games, all of the, I think it had a GameCube, like Nintendo, like NES original, like a whole bunch of stuff on it, and works with any controller kind of setup. Like it looks pretty dope, and I guess it outputs in high resolution now too. So like, as high as the games will go anyway. But yeah, I saw that and I was kind of like, ooh, I wish I had an old Wii that still worked because this could be kind of a fun mod to do.
Wii's are super easy to find and they're relatively cheap.
Yeah, but do they work?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, from especially here with as many retro gaming stores as we have, I see them all the time, and I think they're sub $75.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that might be the thing, right? Like, we're talking about like building, Raspberry Pi or something like that, and using it to do a mod game or arcade cabinet. But just go get an old Wii and let it do it for you. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm
Crazy
still,
cool mod.
I'm still on the I might build myself a Windows 95 computer so I could run Soul Reaver.
Did you try it on the Switch yet, or on the Steam Deck?
It boots, which is further than I got on Windows 11. But it as soon as you get into the game, the timing's off. So you'll like move forward, and instead of running forward like you normally would in the game, it's essentially like a fast forward button. Makes it really hard to play.
That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that would would work out, but
the fix I saw online was somebody went in and they installed a different Linux distro that lets you control your processor timings. And then that's when my eyes glazed over and I was just like, this is too much work. I'm just going to build a Windows 95 computer.
Can you even get a Windows 95 like key anymore, or would you have to emulate? Like, could you build like a Linux machine, do Ubuntu, and then like emulate 95?
I can guarantee you can get a Windows 95 key on the internet. Those keys have been broken forever. And it's just a script. It's not like it's going back on the internet and checking. Know what I mean? It's just checking the crypto on the script.
That's fair. Yeah, that would be fun. I could see that being a lot of fun.
Sorry, I got distracted by D&D questions. But yeah, I think it'd be cool just see what hardware, like what was the top of the line hardware for Windows 95 and just build that. Cuz you're talking maybe $300 in hardware.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part, I'm sure they make converters, but like serial to HDMI. I was trying to figure out how I would get a screen because I looked up CRT computer screens and fuck that.
Yeah, they're so
expensive.
rare now that they're pricey.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just there's a couple little things I'd have to get past, but I think it'd be a cool little retro gaming machine. I could fucking run like I'm blanking Half-Life. Just do like an OG playthrough of Half-Life.
Nice.
See if the old Counter-Strike servers are up. Stuff like that. I think it'd be kind of fun. And it would give me a reason to go to a parts recycler. So
True.
I won't say no for a field trip.
there's a couple computer parts recyclers that'll let you just pick through their stuff out here. Ooh, I can get
Do
one
that,
of
or
those.
we can take.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, or we could take a field trip up to Canada and go to Linus's warehouse for one of his days where he gives away a bunch of shit.
I think he's post 95 though. I don't know if any of that stuff would run Windows 9 or Windows 95 would run on any of that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's got plenty of CRTs and all that kind of stuff that we could take off of his hands.
Oh yeah, if we can get that cool
that
Alienware
depends.
widescreen one.
That depends. I wonder if he like donates that stuff or whatever.
He did a whole video where
I'm
he
sure
literally just had a garage sale. He gave away that Scorpion chair for $20.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I was actively mad about it. I was like, fuck, it would have been cheaper for me to fly to Canada and try to get that chair than it is to buy the chair.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was funny. So the dude made him an offer for $200. Linus had a moment where he was insulted by it. And then he was like, "How about this? Let's make a gamble. If I can sell it for 3 times the amount of what you just offered me, then it's sold. But if nobody takes me up on that offer, then I'll give it to you for $20." And the guy was just like, "Ah, can I just give you the 200?" And Linus was just like, "Come on, man. It's $20 from the 200. Like, you can't say no to that." So they wheeled the thing out. They got a big old crowd. And he was like, "All right, explain the scenario to everybody." And he's like, $600. Who will take this for $600? Literally like a silent 10 seconds. Nobody even fucking sneezed. And he just looked at the dude. He was like, "All right, well, that bit me in the ass. It's yours, $20."
So what was this?
Nice.
Was it just a chair that was shaped like a scorpion that had a screen on it or some shit?
It
Do
is-
you remember the movie? Oh my god, I'm brain farting on the movie name.
Was it Grandma's Boy?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if he was alive for that one either.
Oh god damn it.
Oh, okay, you're talking about the scorpion chair that he had in Grandma's Boy. That,
Oh,
like,
that?
he's
Yeah.
sitting there listening. He's sitting there listening to the heavy techno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a scorpion chair with a screen at the end. Yeah, okay. So I never seen the movie, but I know what you guys are talking about. Because I, honest to God, if I had, I don't show my face. But you're like, do you remember this movie? I'm like, I want you to think real hard.
We're we're gonna watch Grandma's Boy when you get out here. It's worth it.
It is
Okay.
worth it.
So worth it.
Is that like a Chris Farley or a Sandler movie? Because it sounds like a Chris Farley or Adam Sandler movie.
No,
In the
who's,
same context, but they're not in it.
Okay.
It's definitely
Who's the guy
that
from-
generation. It's he's a comedian. Fuck. But it's got a lot of those people.
I can't think
Oh,
of
in
his name either.
2006, there was Alan Covert, Peter Dante, Nick Swartzen. Was it
Nick
Nick
Swartzen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Benchwarmers as the. I remember that.
Okay, and then the other guy, the one that plays the genius game programmer, was the
that
same
Jonah?
dude who's been in. Yeah, he's been in Dodgeball.
Yeah.
What else was he in? Shit, he's been in a bunch of stuff,
Linda
like a bunch of decent movies.
Cardinelli.
Grandma's Boy was a decent movie.
Oh, are you talking about the chick that played Velma in Scooby in the live action Scooby Doo's?
Grandma's Boy was definitely like a niche.
Alan
crowd.
Covert. Yeah.
Alan
Dude,
Covert.
Jonah Hill was in that movie?
Yeah,
Which
What?
one?
he was according to Google, he was Barry.
In Grandma's Boy?
Yeah,
He must have been like 15.
the movie came out in 06.
No.
Yeah, Jonah
Yeah.
was definitely in that movie. Sorry, I'm remembering the party scene now. Sorry.
He was
you guys-
not 15. He was born in 80.
Baby
Jonah Hill
wants
was
some
born in
milk?
83, so it's like
He looks 15 in that movie.
He was he was very young in his career for that movie, yeah. Paige, you remember the scene, right? At the party where he's hanging out and the one like stripper basically comes up to him and is like, "Baby wants some milk?" He's like, "Uh-huh."
Nice.
Then he spent the rest of the party doing that. Like into the next morning she's eating breakfast, like eating
Oh,
cereal.
yeah. Holy shit.
am I wrong in thinking like that scene she had like a top on that just had milk where her tits were? Am I thinking of the wrong movie?
I don't think her top had like any signage on it or anything.
Okay.
It was just like a
I'm
white
thinking of the wrong
tank.
movie. Oh, okay. I was thinking of the wrong movie.
Okay, well, we digressed.
Yeah, a bit.
Welcome to the Depths of Jigoku Podcast, where we digress a lot.
Right? Have you guys done any research on the Asus ROG Ally X?
Nope.
So I've not done a whole bunch of research on it. I've watched a couple videos on it, and my consensus is if you're buying your very first handheld, definitely a good one to get into. But if you're doing it as an upgrade, it's not worth it.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'll pimp the Steam Deck all day long, especially the OLED. but the Ally X is definitely more powerful. All right, well, I was just going to mention how apparently they fixed all their problems with their joysticks and the overheating, melting the Wi-Fi card and the SSD card and all that stuff. But apparently they haven't, so they just moved it around and having the same problem.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, the big complaints were the SSD cards getting cooked and the joysticks weren't replaceable and they were breaking easily. Now the joysticks are replaceable and they still break easily. And the SSD card, not like the SSD NVMe hard drive, like one of the little micro SDs, they moved it to a less heated area and they're still melting. So, kind of better, kind of worse. But it's Asus, so like their stuff's gone downhill real quick.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it really does suck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, ever since Asus had started having issues with like their motherboards and stuff like that, I'm just like, yeah, you guys are starting to string along a lot of people. I don't know about this. So I'm switching to like MSI for almost everything. Like, they've been steady.
What's crazy is that isn't that how Asus started, was motherboards?
Monitors, I thought, wasn't it?
Maybe. We have the internet.
We do. This is not the scenario we were discussing earlier.
Began with a few engineer. No.
Words.
I'm just reading because they're giving me the stupid fucking background, not like what did they first make.
All right.
Oh, not hard. Yeah, I think it was motherboards. Yeah.
I mean, can you fully blame them though? Like, Intel's having their own issues with the 13th, 14th gen, right? Like, Asus is having issues, or Asus, however you guys say it, is having issues with, you know, their motherboards and voltage control. Like, I don't know.
So, what little research I've done on Intel's issue, I honestly think it's the motherboard manufacturers, because the research I've seen, if you set it to Intel specs, it's fine. But there's so many automatic AI overclocking bullshit that the motherboards are coming out so ramped up that it's causing processor degradation. And, you know, when you release a processor where the max temp before voltage throttle is 105 fucking degrees, shit's gonna melt.
Yep.
But yeah, pour one out for Asus. Asus, however you want to say it. I still say Rogue instead of ROG, so.
Rogue instead of ROG.
That's funny.
Asus.
You guys looked into the new Helldivers patch? Comes out in August.
I haven't seen the patch, but did you see the video about the Freedom Enhanced, or what was it? Freedom something. But basically, they're coming out with a new difficulty.
Yeah, that's part of the patch. They're coming out with difficulty 10.
Yep.
There's new bugs, which are even more terrifying and hard to kill. And then they're adding rockets to those fucking cyborg walkers.
They don't need to add rockets to the cyborg walker. Like, what?
Yeah. Every post I've seen is people being like, what the fuck, guys? The rocket guys are already a pain in the ass. Why are you giving everybody rockets?
I also haven't played the game in months, just because it's another topic we're going to talk about, but 2 other games have been taking up my time. I'd get back into Helldivers once the patch releases.
They fixed it for Steam Deck, so I tested it out on Steam Deck and it runs pretty good, but I don't like playing that game with controller, so probably won't ever do it again.
Yeah, whenever I get back into that game, I gotta start at the low difficulties to work my way back up again. I jumped in it a while back and was hot garbage.
I I don't plan on jumping back in hard until the Illuminate show up. Just to be completely honest. Like, I had fun with the bugs. I had fun with the cyborgs. I need something else to kill.
My cousin and his buddies are still playing it pretty hardcore. Like, they play every night.
Nice.
And yeah, I got other stuff to play.
Mhm.
I played a couple rounds of PUBG the other
Oh, you
night.
poor soul.
It was slow. I forgot how slow and how much tense builds up in that game.
That's why I got away from playing it. I got so stressed and filled with anxiety.
Yeah, it was.
Which game? Pub?
Yeah, PUBG.
Yeah.
G.
Oh, okay.
Player unknown battleground. Something or other.
But yeah, it's you run around, you collect stuff, and then after like 5-7 minutes, you're like, I haven't seen anybody. This is gonna end poorly. And then you see somebody.
in the head
you-
as soon as you
Yeah.
say that, and you're like,
You-
wow, okay.
You see somebody, you vocally scream. Your mic's on, so they hear you. And then it's just random clicking until somebody accidentally clicks on somebody else's head. Because they're just as surprised as you are. But yeah, the new Helldivers patch looks good. I think it's going to raise the difficulty on top of the difficulty raising. But there's supposed to be new planets, new missions. It's supposed to be a pretty big patch. So I might hop in and just check out the new missions, check out the new planets. I know there's hints of them adding urban environments, which I think would be cool, add a third dimension to the game.
Yeah, I did see that they're adding like a jungle or a swamp kind of scenario to the thing as a whole.
Yeah.
So that will be pretty cool once it comes out.
Yeah, it should be pretty dope. I might hop in August when it pops up. It really depends on my free time.
Yeah.
Also depends when. Is it like early August, late August?
I think it's like the 6th.
Oh fuck. Okay.
It also depends on if Once Human sucks my soul in like Rust did. Because from what I could tell, it's just Rust with a Stranger Things theme.
Oh, Once Human.
Yeah,
It is a little
I
bit
lo-
that, isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
a whole lot less aggressive than Rust. But yeah,
Yeah, when I said, oh, I haven't played Helldivers, it's because Once Human and like First Descendant has taken up my life. And I'll say Once Human's really fun. And I'm really glad the devs are very open to communication. Like, I know you guys can look it up, the video or like the Twitter thread of Pirate Software talking with the actual lead dev and like, oh, these changes would be really nice. And the dev's like, okay, yeah, dope. And then like they've already implemented or started to implement some of them. So like the cosmetics you buy, instead of it being character based, it will now be account based. And if you bought the same cosmetic multiple times, when this patch releases, you will be refunded in the in-game currency or whatever you use to buy it, like the cryptic
Nice.
gens or whatever they call it.
That's cool.
I think they're working on a way of like the whole Diablo to where, you know, you have your seasonal character and then you have like your eternal character. So that's what I assume the Eternal Lands is, unless I'm just having hope. But they said they're working on that because what it is, and it was explained really well by Pirate Software, is like a lot of Western gamers. It's the whole mandatory making me lose my stuff. Like, I earn that stuff. I would like to keep said stuff. And if I want to regrind it in a new character, I will. But don't force me to do it, kind of thought. Which,
Well,
you know.
kind of. But in Rust, your server resets were a big part of the game.
Yeah,
'Cause
but Rust, it was more than 6 weeks reset.
It depended on who owned your server, but yeah, like the
Yeah.
average was like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, you know, their resets are every 6 weeks. So that's why. Like, if it was like 4 to 6 months, I'd be like, yeah, okay, every 4 to 6 months I'll regrind. But you're telling me every 6 weeks I'd have to redo it?
Well,
But
it,
like I said, they're working on either making that longer or literally giving us like an eternal character setting.
it wasn't so much a regrind. In Rust you got, because it was PvP, you got just groups of people that were so far ahead of you in timeline and technology builds that you couldn't get off the beach. You would almost instantly get murdered. Or as soon as you got something good, your base would get raided. And so your server resets reset everybody to the same playing field. And it was literally whoever had the time to grind 48 hours on the first 2 days of the reset and just go. Like, the first person to get AKs was dominant on the server for a while. So but there's not, I haven't played with the PvP in Once Human. I'm interested once I get better at the game switching over. Because I think it'd be fun to go on base raids. But
yeah. And don't quote me, but I don't think a lot of the PvP servers, at least in like North America and like the Western world, aren't very populated because of the exact same reason. Like, we're not super used to the game yet.
Yeah.
So like it's not super populated, but I can foresee it being kind of like rushed to where there's people camping spawn zones, or like once you get something, we're going like, oh, let's go, mess this base up and get what they have.
I can see that.
There was like an unwritten rule in Rust that if they were naked and hitting things with a rock, you wouldn't kill them. But as soon as they put clothes on, it was game on.
Yeah.
I mean, same rule in Ark, right?
Yeah. A little different because in Ark, other things could kill you.
Yeah, so I mean, you had to still survive, but at least you weren't surviving against, 100 level players that already have like full everything, right?
Yeah. Dude, the mad shit talking in Ark and Rust was the best part about that game. Just be standing outside of someone's base, fucking with them.
I don't know, I thought it got pretty good when they started adding mods and you can run around as like Vegeta.
Yeah. AC, yeah, let's talk about this one because these two kind of coalesce. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Did you see they put out an official apology?
I saw, but I didn't read
For
it.
what?
What were they apologizing for?
For creating an African American samurai in their game. They just apologized to Japan, by the way. They didn't apologize. Like, in the apology, it was specifically to Japan.
Are
you serious?
Were people in Japan? This is legit. I don't know a lot about the situation. Were they actually like upset, or were they just?
So there was a couple of things going on, really. Yasuke is the black samurai that was used in the game as IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they had issue with that because he's not a really good representative of a samurai in Japan. And then the other thing was there was a group whose like specifically their symbol ended up getting used in like the cover art for the game. So there was like a whole issue around that too. So there was a lot of like basically like IP theft happening that was not good.
Oh.
Man, I was gonna make a really American joke, but I just Googled where Ubisoft was from, so I can't make that joke. What I was gonna say was, when you get nuked twice, you get grumpy about samurai stuff. But since France created Ubisoft,
When you said, I'm like, okay, now I gotta look over Ubisoft is from. Of course, it's fucking French people.
Yeah, they make good video games. I ain't mad at it.
We know my opinion of the French. I'll let
Yeah.
slide.
I know you guys don't follow, for lack of a better term, war lore, but France is trying to start shit, man. They're trying to start World War III.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking surprise me, them pieces of shit. Sorry.
They're like threatening Russia with sending the French Foreign Legion to Ukraine and shit. What the fuck? When did Macron get all Napoleon on us? And also, historically, probably not the best place to invade. Like, even if you're on their side, like
winter time.
Yeah.
So
it's not. So having been there, it's not winter that fucks your troop movements up. It's mud season. It's just after winter. So when everything starts to melt and you get where you could jump into 3 feet of mud, your vehicles are fucking useless. And by vehicles, I'm also including horse and carriage, oxen and cannons, stuff like that. That you basically have to hold and wait till things to dry up so that you can maneuver again. But yeah, like, what the fuck, France? Quit starting shit. I don't need a world war while I'm alive.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants a world war while they're alive.
Yeah.
No.
There's a lot of dumb people out there that do. You'd be surprised.
That's why
I work with a
it's
lot of like blue collar
dumb people.
people that just want us to exterminate Russia. And I'm like, it's a little harder than that, man. It's a very corrupt nation, and getting rid of its current government isn't gonna solve the problem.
But they know better.
Yeah, usual peoples. And then, so after the Assassin's Creed thing, and them only apologizing to Japan, which I'm highly offended about, Bethesda unionized. Yeah, I want an apology for me too. Yeah, Bethesda unionized. I think it's the first major developer that's unionized.
Yep.
So
they unionize company wide is really the thing there, like the kicker.
Yeah.
Not just that they did, but that it's the whole company.
Well,
basically unionized.
So I could be wrong.
Yeah, they are the first major gaming company.
So I could be wrong because I work with unions. I've never been in a union, but I think once you hit management level, you can't be in the union. At least that's how it works with like carpenter, welder, steel unions, iron workers unions, stuff like that. Is once you make like superintendent or any kind of mid-level manager or up, you are no longer in the union.
Sorry, apparently Microsoft Game Studio was the first major unionization.
That's not a real place. That's like Narnia.
I'm just setting up facts. It's all. Listen, it's part of my job.
Yeah, Microsoft isn't in this. They own everything.
It's more like a monopoly than a unionization.
Yeah. They're not a monopoly because people buy Apple products. Okay, guy. Apple wouldn't exist if Microsoft didn't give them an ingest of money, just so they wouldn't get hit with monopoly.
So back to Bethesda unionizing. I did not expect it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm interested to see games. We probably won't see the effects for 3 or 4 years. But I'm interested to see what kind of games come out of this, because when you're unionized, you can use the excuse of I'm not going to work 14 hours a day, 6 days a week developing this game. So,
rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm about it, but is it going to bring Bethesda gaming down, or are we going to see some weird renaissance?
I think we'll see some weird renaissance. I'm also just happy for the QA workers with this. Just everyone's great, but I know QA workers really are going to benefit from it.
Quality assurance is generally mid-level management. So they're probably not in the union.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're unionized, they're not going to make them work past what the union normally works as well. But yeah, I don't think it'll affect their hours, but it won't affect their goals.
Well, that's what I mainly was concerned about, is the hours. But yeah, I think it'll be a slow burn renaissance, or we're not going to see like in the next few years, but towards maybe the next like 5 to 10, we'll see like Ubisoft or Bethesda start to develop a whole lot more, and hopefully they'll give us.
Besides what they develop, though, does it surprise you that they've unionized after almost every game company in the world has cut over the last 2 years?
It doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me at all, especially with all the extra cuts and all that stuff. I'm surprised it took this long. But
most businesses have a anti-union affidavit attached to their signing documents.
See, I've never seen one of those. And maybe it's the jobs I work are usually heavily unionized. But I've never I mean I've seen stuff that says we have to use unions where available. But I've never had to sign a contract saying that I wouldn't unionize or I wouldn't start a union or something like that.
Yeah, so I
I
know
think it's
that
the jobs you've worked.
it's probably the jobs you work because you work in in the kind of workplace where there already are a lot of unions, right? Like workers' unions.
Yeah, I do now, but historically I didn't see them. So
I know for like some of the tech companies I've ever signed up with, a lot of them have like a anti-union policy attached to their, employment documentation. I don't know if the one I'm in now has anything like that, but it's too small of a company for that to kind of matter, I guess.
that's fair.
So
Should start a union.
for fun, union of one.
Dude, it's like HOAs, man. I have a lot of issues with HOAs and I can get past most of them, but having to show up to meetings when I'm off work is what would fucking kill me. Like, I don't want to see you fucking people. Yeah, you're my neighbors. I just don't want to fucking see you. I want to go in my house. I want to look at my beautiful partner and I want to like pet my dog. I don't want to have to go to a 2-hour fucking meeting where I got to help make a decision.
To decide on, do we want to cut our grass a half-inch shorter or a quarter-inch shorter? Like some bullshit. Or like cars can't be on the fucking sidewalk.
I mean, in general, even with unions, you end up going to these meetings. We hire a lot of carpenters, and almost all of our carpenters are in the union. And they'll be like, "Oh, I have to drive an hour away to go to my union meeting. It's required." And it's just like, fuck that, dude. It just, life isn't that hard. I guarantee the union's helping them. It would have to be, otherwise, carpenters, they build everything. So that would end very quickly. But yeah, I don't want to go to a meeting, man. Like, it just doesn't seem appealing to me.
That's valid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm so hoping for the best, planning for the worst with the Bethesda unionize. I'm hoping we see a cool renaissance in games and we start seeing kind of what we're seeing in the indie side where we're getting these weird ideas. And they're getting turned into pretty decent games, probably 10 to 15% of the time, but there's enough games out there to where Bethesda isn't going to fuck that up. But planning for the worst, I kind of expect Bethesda to shut down and reopen. Like give it a year or two, I bet they start not meeting deadlines, they start losing investors because they're not meeting deadlines, and I bet we get Bethesda 2 and whatever they decide to call it, and then they start cranking out games the old-fashioned way. Arguably, I don't think Bethesda's put out a good game in the last 10 years, but like that, they've been riding on their laurels. Starfield. I'll just leave Starfield, or Fallout 76. We'll go 2 games deep.
Are we still waiting for Elder Scrolls 6? That was like teased like in 2014 E3 or something.
Yeah, they decided to build Starfield instead.
Yeah, well, fucking build Elder Scrolls 6. No one cares.
It's not going to be good. And it's not that it's not going to be good.
It'll be good.
It's not going to be good because they're making an Elder Scrolls game, and we've not only technologically, but in the ability to tell stories through video games, we've excelled so far past what Skyrim was. So you go into Skyrim now and you're like, okay, this is interesting, but every RPG has this amount of story in it. Every RPG has this amount of bots doing things on their own. You got to be in this perfect timing. Like, that all exists. That's not special like it was when the last Elder Scrolls game came out.
Oh, when did Skyrim come out?
Like, unless they pull a Baldur's Gate and just go fucking shoulder deep in that butthole of story, I don't expect it to be good. Especially seeing Starfield. Like, Starfield wasn't a terrible game. It was Skyrim in space. but because there wasn't member berries from Skyrim, everyone thought it was a terrible game.
Mm-hmm. Skyrim came out November 11th, 2011.
Been out for a hot fucking minute.
It's been out for a very long time.
It was the first game I purchased after my second deployment. Like, got back a couple days after it came out, bought the game, spent like 80 hours in it, didn't get anything done, and then barely ever played since.
I think it's split between either Black Ops 2 or Skyrim was my first like quadruple digit hours in a game. Can't remember which one was first.
In a game?
Yeah, in a game.
Oh, that was unfortunately WoW for me.
I'm gonna go Battlefield. It would be between Battlefield and WoW. I definitely have more time clocked in WoW, but Battlefield, I think I spent more time playing first. Maybe. Because I started WoW when it first came out. When did Battlefield come out?
Oh. Yeah, it was probably Skyrim for me. And then Black Ops 2.
2002. Battlefield 1942. So yeah, then it definitely was WoW.
Yeah. What about you, Scorch, or is there too many to choose?
I have a go back. I have a go back while you think. It wasn't WoW.
Okay,
It's
good.
definitely EverQuest.
Okay.
I completely forgot about EverQuest. I had a weird, like one of those ideas
memory
with
loss.
images and headaches.
Yeah, core memory.
Yeah.
Actually, I also have another game that I've got way high triple-digit number hours, and that's the Borderlands series.
Mm.
Yeah, but more than WoW.
Or more than EverQuest if you played EverQuest.
I would have to physically actually compare the two.
I got a job
I got-
because of WoW.
Borderlands went into my IV. It went into my veins.
I wish I could play that game.
Yeah. All right, so
Just
you guys
the
are
arts.
probably going to laugh. Triple digit hours of gaming was, for me, the first game was probably Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. Like
No, respect.
the original Final Fantasy when it came out.
respect.
Since that, triple to possibly quadruple hours have been World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. Like if I just go look at the
Not Guild
playtime
Wars?
history, I did spend a good amount of time in Guild Wars, but that probably really only got me in like the couple hundreds of hours. Like, I mean, like I had fun with it. It was a good time. I never really got into PvP. I played the story to a certain point before some of the expansions came out. I even went back and like got the new expansions, and I have not played it since. Like,
I
I
guess
just-
Oh, you can go.
I don't know. Like Final Fantasy kind of has me like hook, line, and sinker, just because I can create one character, do everything on that character, every job, every class, whatever. The world is huge. They just did another expansion, which is gonna just open it up for years more worth of content. I mean, like that game is not gonna die, and they just updated the graphics. Like no MMORPG that I've ever played that I can think of did a graphics overhaul, and these guys did. So like I'm pretty much in it to win it with them. I already have maybe 1,800 hours in that game,
Ooh.
and
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
but I've been playing it for 6 years, and then I stopped for 2 years, and then I just picked it back up. So other than when I play games with you guys, I'm usually on that.
I think I have to add one more game to my y'all are gonna not be surprised or roll your eyes. Across all my accounts, because I have been banned from this game before, I think League is also kind of up there in the amount of hours.
That's a drug addiction. That's not a game. We don't count League.
Yeah.
And I've dabbled with League so many times, but I've never seriously got into it.
You know what? Yeah, I can agree. League is an addiction because I still have it on my computer, but I rarely play. But there are where I get that itch. I'm like, I really crave League, and then I have this clarity wash over me. It's like, no, don't do it. It's not good for you. And I'm like, okay. So yeah.
I've been trying to get back into gaming and picked up Age of Empires 2 again.
Is that on Game Pass?
No.
No, that's
No,
on...
I paid for it for like the 4th time.
I know there's Age of Empires on Game Pass. I just don't remember.
They updated the graphics again, and it looks really good. And it was really tempting. It was a terrible idea, but it was really tempting.
Oh, Age of Empires 2 is on Game Pass.
Oh, well, they got $40 from me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like the definitive editions all the way. Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3 definitive editions are, and then Age of Empires 4 Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, fuck that. Age of Empires 2 is the only Age of Empires.
Fair. It's kind of like Civ. Civ 4 is the only real Civ.
Dude,
Civ 3 or
Sorry,
Civ 4.
you guys, you just gave me a thought. Sorry, I'm just saying. That StarCraft, the original StarCraft, is probably a game I also sunk a couple hundred hours into.
Oh, easily.
Like,
Oh,
easily. Just
definitely a couple, probably, 200-300 hours.
Just getting online and hitting the skirmishes and like doing that stuff. Yeah, like
I remember having to get off when the Koreans came online. Because I got very heavy into multiplayer, and it was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. It's like 7 a.m. in Korea. Yep, I'm getting off now.
I was
Did you
such
get
a
off because you could have
distinctive. Nobody could.
Yeah, no, the Koreans ruled StarCraft.
I didn't really pay attention too much. I tried to get into StarCraft, and I just couldn't. I don't know, like something in my brain just didn't click with it.
It is like the Korean NFL. Like, they would broadcast matches on TV. They had their own channel. It was wild.
Dang.
I think it still is. Now I'm curious.
I remember there was like a huge cheating
StarCraft's-
controversy in StarCraft with one of the like top Korean players. I remember that making like the top 10 like scandals in esports video. I forget what it was, but I just remember that.
It is still the most popular video game in Korea.
That doesn't surprise. Like OG StarCraft or just the StarCraft series?
StarCraft 2 has a total of yearly average of 23.7 million players.
What's the league average in Korea?
1.1 million.
That utterly shocks me. Because how like insane and how dominant Korea is. And I know China's getting up there with the LPL like in like the international stage, but like
yeah, but they're restricted to a few hours a day on video games now. So they're getting ready to drop off hard.
And that's scary because like the Chinese teams are like they can't match up to like the top 2 teams in Korea to an extent. Like they have beaten them. But they're like it's literally like whenever you watch any international competition in league, it's like, oh, it's going to be China and Korea in the quarter, semis, and finals. So.
I mean, that's fair. They still technically are at war.
There is that.
There's probably a little bit of anger between the two of them.
Yeah.
Minor details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you count tabletop sim? Because I have quite like triple-digit hours in tabletop sim, but I don't know if you can count that. And I only say that because it's literally an online way to play card games and board games. If you either A, own the mod, or B, go to the workshop and download it. So like you can play like Uno or Risk, or you can. I know one of the mods for the new Dragon Ball card game is on there. I'd assume a lot of card games are on there. Like that's how I first played Haunting on the House on the Haunting on the Top of the House on the Hill or whatever it's called, or like a lot of those kind of board games.
How do you check hours you've played in games on Steam?
Usually if you go to the library, you click on the thing, it will tell you hours.
There's
I
an
wanna go
easier
down
way.
each of
Go
them.
to your profile.
Okay.
Go to games if you have it available as a link, and then you can do sorted by hours played.
Oh, this won't tell me my actual things because I've had to like get a new Steam account. This won't tell me my real hours. Oh, Destiny 2 I have a lot of hours in.
So barring Ark, my next most highest played game is Monster Hunter World, and that makes sense because I sunk like a solid 2 years into that game.
Monster Hunter World is so good. I don't have a lot of hours in Steam. I only have 150, but I definitely know I have like 3+100 hours on the like console.
Dude, it still doesn't show my hours from the Steam Deck. I wonder if it's just me or if it's a larger
It could
problem.
just be like a weird, like it can't count.
Well, so
Because Xbox, if same with me, like if I look on my Xbox hours on my console, and I look at the same game that I play on console on PC, I have 2 different types of hours. So it could just be like, oh, it can't combine the both because it's weird and stupid.
yeah, because I've beaten Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake twice on the Steam Deck, and it's saying I have less than 30 hours in either of them.
Well, you speedran those games, remember?
Yeah, no, I definitely did not.
Diablo 3, I have 1,000 hours in.
I apparently have also perfected Counter-Strike as an award, I guess.
I think the silence speaks more.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to click on a lot of heads.
Yeah. I wish I had more than I think of. Wait, how many hours in Baldur's Gate do I have? Because it's about to be real sad. I only have 20. Oh, because it doesn't count beta. Damn, I only have 23 hours in Baldur's Gate. That actually speaks a lot.
Yeah, my times are way off. Because it's saying I got 30 minutes and 5 Nights at Freddy's.
I never played any of those games.
It's saying I have perfected Counter-Strike, but I only played it for 24 minutes.
It's only saying I have 94 hours in Project Cars 2, and I know that's a lie.
Yeah. Well.
I know that's a lie.
Well, on this bombshell of us being sweaty gamers, let's go ahead and close this thing out. Get back to some Once Human.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you all.
We were supposed to leave. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Oh yeah, background. Once Human has this one thing, and this will be the last thing before I give the outros and goodbyes and everything. Didn't realize if you join a server and you have to join another server to play with your friends, i.e. what we've experienced, you have to recreate a whole new character. So that's what we did before this podcast. But we're going to get back to it after this, but thank you all for listening. Hope you guys have a good day, good morning, good drive. If you would like to email us at all, either for sponsorship or just generally get in contact with us for anything, you can contact us at TheDepthsofJigoku. All the links will be in the description. You can find us on Twitter and X. The same thing with YouTube. And again, get a test kit. Make sure it's safe. Or if you're feeling down, feeling like you need to
voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good to us. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.